Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee and I've got 4 pounds of black beans. I soaked them overnight because I never do the quick soak method. We're going to can these up. But right now I had soaked them overnight. I rinsed them. I put fresh water with them and they are on the stove. They are going to have to cook for about 30 minutes at a nice, a light boil. I also have some water boiling up on my stove just in case I don't have enough liquid in these beans when I can them. So I'll have some extra water. I got all my jars ready. They're in the dishwasher. I just need to take them out. They're still pretty hot in there. My lids and rings are ready. I just got to get my little bit of stuff together here and we'll get busy and we'll get these canned up. I love having them on the shelf. This is like convenience food, it'll make meal preparation quick and I love it. Okay friends, this is all ready and it's a big pot. This is my 10 quart? No. Yeah, probably my 10 quart. I just bought I love my enormous bowl. You guys always talk about my Big Daddy bowl. Well, I just bought my Big Daddy Stockpot. Oh, I think 2 months ago. I haven't even used it yet because I haven't made a big enough amount of my stock. But just wait. Oh my goodness, we're going to make some stock in that. I wanted the 30 quart size and I bought it from my Amish friend. She's got like a little a store. There's several of them that I know, and they all have something that they sell. She does herbs and spices and, my plates where I get my little silver plates. Those are my stainless plates. She sells all that stuff. So that was where I got my big stock pot, and that is a 24 quart. I wanted a 30 quart, but I couldn't find one. But anyway, so we're going to be able to make a lot of stock in that one. So now I got my Big Daddy bowl and my Big Daddy stock pot. All excited. And friends, I got my cumin in. This is going to be exciting. All right. My jars are not as hot as they should be. But that's all right. They'll be okay. We are going to... Oh, by the way, I'm so sorry. I rinsed these and you know that I took you through that, and I cooked them for 30 minutes and then I just turned it off and left it on the stove till it stopped bubbling. So we're gonna fill these jars. I got a lot of jars to fill, but I'm only gonna do 6 of them on camera for you so you can see, and we're not gonna yak away like I did the other day. And yeah, that's good. And forget and fill it right to the brim. I'm good at that. Oh, these are going to be nice. And then I'll put a half a teaspoon of cumin in there. I love having these. I love having these on the shelf. And I was totally out of canned beans completely. The black beans. I got lots of other canned beans still. I was out of my black beans. So I went yesterday and bought 4 pounds of them, and this is all those 4 pounds. And somebody asked me the other day, what's the big deal about, I shouldn't say that. That's not how they worded it. What was the leaving them on the shelf dry and cooking them versus canning them up and having them in jars? Well, for me, it's convenience. It makes for a quick meal, You can put them in chili. I can put them in anything. I love black beans. Sometimes I just crack open a jar and put it in my salad with some garbanzo beans. I love them. And sometimes, because they're seasoned so well with the cumin, I just eat them. Just heat them up and eat them. I love them. Beans are good for you. Very good for you. We're getting this. I'm curious. You'll see how many I get. Because I'll show you before I get them all in the canner. And I'll show you, I'm going to get them in my canner, and I'm loving that canner, friends. And I thank every one of you. I didn't realize how many of you had the All-American canner. Heavens to Betsy, I'm behind in the times. You must have watched me do my canning with this, my old canner, and thought, well, why doesn't she have a new canner? All right, we'll get back to this. My phone was ringing. I sent my son yesterday a whole bunch of freezer meals. I do the freezer meals for him and my daughter. And he got his yesterday, and he was all excited. He's like, he saw all those pigs in a blanket that I did, and he's like, oh, those are going to be so good. They are. All right, so we got that, and that's good. We got these filled just fine. Before I put my broth in here, or my broth from my beans, I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of cumin in each one. Now, if you're using a quart, you might want a whole teaspoon, but these are pints, so I'm just going to do a half. And I'm also, I don't normally do this because salt isn't for preserving. It's only for added flavor. But I want these beans so that I can just put them on my salad and they'll be good flavor. So I got a half a teaspoon of salt going in each one of these as well. You can season them with anything you want. The USDA, FDA, the FBI, whoever it is, they allow us to play with spices, you know, in all your canned goods and stuff. So you just got to follow the tested recipes for the rest of the processing. But you can add spices and, you know, season your stuff up. Okay, now we're going to use this broth, and hopefully I'm going to have enough to do all these, and I only want this at 1 inch of head space. And there we go, I got it. All right. I'd rather overfill it with beans talking than overfill it with my liquid. Beautiful. These are going to be wonderful on my shelf. You can, when you can beans, friends, you can mix and mingle your beans for chili, or, you know, like you can do 3 beans, 6 beans. I've done the 15 beans before. I just go in and I'll get my dry beans, and most of mine are what I've grown. I grew black beans the one year, and quite a few of them, but I've used them all up. That was not last year. That was a couple years ago, I think I did that. But I really like black beans. I think this year I'm going to have to grow some more. All right, so we got all those on there, and they all look good. We're going to get the air out of here. Make sure you debubble your jars. I say all the time, if you forget, well, that sometimes that happens. Try not to forget, because the bubbles can harbor bacteria, and they can also force liquid to the top, which could create siphoning, or could, you know, even hinder it from sealing. So you just always want to take out the air bubbles. And don't be surprised when you debubble it if you have to top it off with a little more liquid. That's just perfectly fine. I've got a few of these in here I'm going to have to top off. They smell wonderful with that cumin in there. I love that stuff. All right. I'm not going to use that because I got to do this. I'll just do this real carefully. There's a couple here that need to be topped off. All right. Now that we got that done, I got a little bit of vinegar here. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to wipe these jars down. Wipe the rims down. You want to make sure you do that, because if you don't, you could wind up with some debris on that rim, and then it will hinder the seal, and you don't want that. You put a lot of work in this. Ooh, that's screaming hot now. Okay, I gotta leave that there because I'm gonna do the rest of them off camera. I'm gonna show you here. All I do with these, you don't have to boil these lids anymore. In fact, if you do that now, you're gonna melt that seal. Oops, you're gonna melt that seal. I wouldn't be able to do that again if I tried. Did you see it went in my pocket? You will destroy the seal on that lid if you boil them now. Not a good thing. They don't recommend it. Whew. And just finger tight. Sometimes it looks like I'm really cranking down on these, and I'm not. It's because I've got arthritis in my thumbs, and I really have to give it a little extra oomph. All right, so we got those all set for the canner. We'll take a second here. I have got 3 inches of water in my canner. Okay, I'm going to turn that up. I'm going to get that heated up so that when I'm done with the rest of my jars, I can bring you along and show you how I put them in there. I love this thing. Absolutely, I love it. It'll be the last canner I'll probably ever have to buy. I'd recommend it to anyone. And this is only the second time I'm using it. The first time was the other day when I bought it. So when I get all the rest of my beans jarred up, I'll bring you back and we'll get these going in the canner. Okay, I have got 14 jars. And this is nice and warm. So we're going to put these on the bottom, and then I'm going to use my rack because I can double stack these. And I believe you can get 19 pints in this. I get one on the bottom, and then I'm going to lay this right on top of those jars, and then I'll go ahead and I'll stack these. There we go. All right, so now I've got my leftover vinegar. I'm just going to pour it down there. It'll go down through. And then we're going to go ahead, and where that lines up there, we're going to turn that. And then we've got to do opposite sides and make sure that it is level or even. I got to put my glasses on. This is the only thing I'm not used to. That looks pretty good. And tighten them, which I have a hard time tightening because of my arthritis in my thumbs. If it doesn't fit on there right, just unscrew it a little bit. Okay, now I believe that is set. All right, so that looks good. I'm going to turn that back up on high, and we're going to let this go. I'm going to let that vent spew a steady stream of steam for 10 minutes before I put the jiggler on there. These are pints, so these are going to have to go for 75 minutes. And when these are done, I'll bring you back and we'll see how beautiful they turn out. All right, friends, this is done. It is at 0. It's still warm, but I'm going to get these out of here. I love this. All right. Okay, here we go. Look at there. Let me set this on there because it's hot. Oh, I can smell those beans. They smell wonderful. The cumin in there. Look at how beautiful those turned out, friends. Oh, you probably can't see it because it's dark in my kitchen. I'll bring you around and show these to you. These are absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful addition to my pantry these are going to be. Okay, now this is my trick. I just take a fork in here and I lift this out with it. It works. Doesn't have to be fancy. Ooh, no siphoning in here, friends. That water, I'll show you, it is as clean as it can be. And my jars are beautiful clean because of the vinegar in there. Oh, me and this canner, I'm telling you, friends, if this canner was human, I'd marry it. I love this thing. Makes me wonder how come I didn't buy one of these years ago. Boy, oh boy. You live and you learn, I guess. Isn't that gorgeous? Wait till you see these. And you know what? I better slide these over just a little bit. I don't want them falling off the edge of my counter. All right. Okay. And I got two more here. Beautiful. Now I've got a lot of beans for my pantry. Now let me bring you around here, friends. Okay, first, there's no siphoning. That water is as clean as can be in there. Well, there you have it, friends. Look at how beautiful those turned out. What a wonderful addition to my pantry these are going to be. I'm just excited as can be. A very successful canning. No siphoning. I know these lids are all going to seal. I have no doubt. All right, so I'm going to go. That was just a simple canning video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a try, and I hope those of you who are a little leery of canners, I hope that gives you a little more inspiration and makes you a little more comfortable to try and do your own canning and get yourself a pressure canner. You all have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen. And you know what? I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.